Good morning, guys. It is Friday. Hey! And another survival week has begun. Actually, when I say survival, I mean I'm beating the heat. The work itself wasn't that hard. The heat's just been unbearable, and I've been feeling drained. Just physically drained from the whole entire thing. I think it was we worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Did some extra work. Monday was just one house. Tuesday was 2. Wednesday was 3, and then, well, technically 2. Well, extra work at the one house, and then that was pretty much it. And then yesterday was 2, which was so weird. Usually Thursdays we have a lot more houses to do, but it wasn't hard. It's just the heat was unbearable. Being 90-some degree weather is just, I'm gonna say it sucks. I don't do well in heat, neurologically speaking. I get really tired and faint, and even though I have water with me pretty much at all times, I still suffer. There's not AC, I'm sweating profusely. And some of our houses just didn't have their AC bumped down enough, and we had to bump it down. I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I survived. I'm home. I'm able to be in air conditioning at home, so that's good. And so is Mom. Mom suffers a lot too. We had some extra work, but got canceled because of the heat. Some of our clients were very generous and said, no, I don't think we should do it this time, so that's okay. We can do it another time when it's a lot cooler and not so stinking hot. Like an inferno outside. Anything. What else have I been doing? Got treated a couple times. Cause we waited, I think it was Wednesday. We had like 3 hours after our work, because we had a chiropractor Wednesday. And so we went to Goodwill. Not that we really need to be there, but Mom found some stuff for her future classroom. I did see some cool puzzles, but I'm not getting any time soon until I start putting them together again. And I have plenty right now. So, but I did see some cool ones, like one from the 80s, like different types of things from the 80s, and I saw one that was like food related, but it seemed weird because it I don't know if it was like foreign, but it looked like it was different. I don't know. It was kind of weird, but also cool at the same time because it kind of looked vintage at the same time. Anyway, and I wasn't even gonna look at the clothes because I got plenty of clothes I don't need anymore. So, let's see. At Goodwill, we actually went out to eat, even though I mean, we were pretty much hungry. I wasn't really starving, but Mom was. And so, we went to Fiesta Grande, our favorite restaurant. Mom wanted ice cream there, and I didn't want ice cream there. I was like, I'd rather go to Rita's, because Rita, it's a little, you can get like a small amount, where I didn't want the fried ice cream. I just didn't want it. I was like, And it was just extra money there at the restaurant, so we went to Rita's and got some, I was gonna say froyo, that's not even it. It's not even froyo, it's actually custard or ices. They mostly had ices. Their only flavors they had in custard was chocolate and vanilla. And I was like, so I got birthday cake flavored icy, and it was good. I was apprehensive at first, but actually it's not that bad. It's totally nice. And then I got sprinkles with it. And then I think, did we go to the grocery store that? No, we went to the grocery store yesterday. And of course, a chiropractor appointment. I don't even know what was in order. I can't even remember. Because I think I black out a lot of things. Then yesterday we went to work. Well, I actually got to sleep in. We didn't even leave the house until like 12 because the one person wasn't leaving until like 2 something, and yeah. So we didn't get to the first house until like, what was it, like 12:30ish, 12:45, something like that. And I was like 12:45 when we got to the house. But so much construction going on and working on the roads and everything. It's been kind of a nightmare to get around some areas. I guess it's got to be done at some point. And then Mom was still hungry even after, because we had to go all the way because we're going to the grocery store. And still hitting a bunch of traffic and stuff. And we stopped at Chick-fil-A, so 2 days in a row got food from a restaurant. Wasn't exactly planning that, but sometimes it happens. I'm not saying I don't want it, because some I actually do, but at the same time, sometimes I think it can be an overkill. But you can't help what you can't help. If you're hungry and you don't have any food, there you go. There we have it. So I had Chick-fil-A and I got the peach milkshake, which was good. That's the first time I ever had it. It was pretty good. I at least want to have it at least once in my lifetime to get one of their specialty shakes, and that was the first time ever I got it, and it was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to get some of those chunks of peach up my straw, but nonetheless, it was good. Probably be my last time I ever get it, because they're kind of expensive, and just seasonal. You're not gonna always go at the right times. Anyway, it's kind of like the update of how my week was. Just kind of, the heat was really just unbearable for me. That was the main thing that was driving me insane. But other than that, I survived. Got laundry. I don't know why I somewhat made my bed. I need to strip it. I haven't been able to strip it yet. So that has to be done. Remake. I have a whole list to deal with. Of things. Oh, I guess I can update you guys on. The last 3 nights I haven't done much on it, but I have gotten somewhat far. I think, okay. See if you can tell, it's like for a year where I've gotten into, who did I name this one? Peter. This is Peter. I'm working on Peter, going through it, and sorry if you can't really see it that well, but yeah, I've gotten into him a little bit. Really proud of myself considering I've only started this since the 3rd this month, but I still think I might even go into August depending how dedicated I am of getting through it. But anyway, yeah, I've got to get my butt going. Got a lot of things to do between today and tomorrow, so yeah, hopefully I don't have to go outside and out in the heat today. That's just, and it's supposed to get worse this weekend versus the last week. It's supposed to get like in the hundreds. I'm like, ugh. Anyway, also a new update. Actually, almost forgot. I decided to go ahead and shave my arms. They look ultra pale now. Seeing all my, I guess those are sunspots or aging spots. I don't know. but I decided to shave it because I was getting kind of sick of the hair. Just like, you know what, let's just full send it and see how I feel about it. It does feel weird. My skin does feel soft, but at the same time I feel definitely weird. Everything, I can feel a lot of like clothing and stuff. It just feels weird, and the cold feels weird. It's, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels really bizarre. I'm keeping lotion on me just to keep it moisturized and whatnot. So yeah, that's just kind of like the update. I definitely missed some hairs. I always do that with shaving. I did nick myself, both of them actually, where my bone is. That one was the worst. I had to put a band-aid on that one. Anyway. No one has really noticed yet. I did tell Mom I thought about it, so she probably was like, oh, okay. Zachary was kind of staring at me, but don't know if he really noticed or not, or cares. No one really talks about my hairy arms at all. I've only had like a couple of kids that have come up to me and question it, but no one really questions my hairiness. Guess they just accept it. That's weird. I had thought for sure some people would like come up and question it, but they never question it, so I don't know. Which is interesting. Or they probably have thought about it and they just like, I'm not gonna say anything. Thought inside their heads, I suppose. Anyway, you'll see me later during Bible time. So stay tuned. Okay guys, welcome back to my, I was gonna say welcome back to my channel. That's not correct. Welcome, anyway, it is everybody's favorite time of the vlog, Bible time. So let's get started. We're in Deuteronomy now, so chapter 1, getting into that. And this is introduction to Moses' first address. Okay. These are the words that Moses spoke to all the people of Israel while they were in the wilderness east of the Jordan River. They were camped in the Jordan Valley near Suph, S-U-P-H. I'm guessing that's Suph, but I'm probably butchering that as well. Between Paran on one side and Tafil, Laban, Hazareth, and Zephad on the other. Forgive me. Oh, goodness. Normally it takes only 11 days to travel from Mount Sinai to Kadesh Barnea, going by way of Mount Sur, but 40 years after the Israelites left Egypt. Because of their disobedience. On the first day of the 11th month, Moses addressed the people of Israel, telling them everything the Lord had commanded him to say. This took place after he had defeated King Sihon of the Amorites, who had ruled in Heshbon. After he had defeated King Sihon of the Amorites, who had ruled in Heshbon, and the king of Og of Bashan, who ruled in Ashtaroth and Edrei. While the Israelites were in the land of Moab, east of the Jordan River, Moses carefully explained the Lord's instructions as follows. The command to leave Sinai. When we were at Mount Sinai, the Lord our God said to us, "You have stayed at this mountain long enough. It is time to break camp and move on. Go to the hill country of the Amorites and to all the neighboring regions, the Jordan Valley, the hill country, the western foothills, the Negev, and the coastal plain. Go to the land of the Canaanites and to Lebanon, and all the way to the great Euphrates River. Look, I am giving all this land to you. Go and occupy it, for it is the land that the Lord swore to give your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and to all the descendants." Here's a little sidebar called leadership qualities. Moses identifies some of the qualities of a good leader: wisdom, understanding, a good reputation, and fairness. These characteristics differ greatly from the ones that often help elect leaders today: good looks, wealth, popularity, and willingness to do everything to get to the top. Think you've got what it takes to be a leader? Which set of qualities do you value most? The one on Moses' list or the second list? Well, I would have to say Moses' list, because I'd rather be in tune with God, what he has to say, instead of constantly thinking what I have to think or say. So, because they can clash if that at times. Okay, Moses appoints leaders from each tribe. Moses continued, "At the time I told you, you were too great a burden for me to carry all by myself. The Lord your God has increased your population, making you as numerous as the stars. And may the Lord, the God of your ancestors, multiply you 1,000 times more and bless you as promised. But you are such a heavy load to carry. Can I deal with all your problems and bickering? Choose some well-respected men from each tribe who are known for their wisdom and understanding, and I'll appoint them as your leaders." Then you responded, "Your plan is a good one." So I took the wise and respected men you have selected from your tribes and appointed them to serve as judges and officials over you. Some were responsible for 1,000 people, some for 100, some for 50, and some for 10. At that time I instructed the judges, "You must hear the cases of your fellow Israelites and foreigners living among you. Be perfectly fair in your decisions and impartial in your judgments. Hear the cases of those who are poor as well as those who are rich. Don't be afraid of anyone's anger, for the decision you make is God's decision. Bring me any cases that are too difficult for you, and I will handle them." At that time I gave you instructions about everything you were to do. Scouts explore the land. Then, just as the Lord our God commanded us, we left Mount Sinai and traveled through the great and terrifying wilderness, as you yourselves remember, and headed toward the hill country of the Amorites. When we arrived at Kadesh Barnea, I said to you, "You have now reached the hill country of the Amorites that the Lord our God is giving us. Look, he has placed the land in front of you. Go and occupy it as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, has promised you. Don't be afraid, don't be discouraged." But all who came to me and said, "First, let's send out scouts to explore the land for us. They will advise you on the best route to take and which towns we should enter." This seemed like a good idea to me, so I chose 12 scouts, one from each of the tribes. They headed for the hill country and came to the valley of Eshcol and explored it. They picked some of its fruit and brought it back to us, and they reported, The land the Lord our God has given us is indeed a good land." Israel's rebelling against the Lord. But you rebelled against the command of your Lord your God and refused to go in. You complained in your tents and said, "The Lord must hate us. That's why he has brought us out here from Egypt to hand us over to the Amorites to be slaughtered. Where can we go? Our brothers have demoralized us with their report. They tell us the people of the land are taller and more powerful than we are, and their towns are large, with walls rising high into the sky. We even saw giants there, the descendants of Anak. But I said to you, don't be shocked or afraid of them. The Lord your God is going ahead of you. He will fight for you just as he saw him to do in Egypt, and you saw how the Lord your God cared for you along the way as you traveled through the wilderness, just as his father cares for his child. Now he brought you to this place. But even after he did, you refused to trust the Lord your God, who goes before you looking for the best places to camp, guiding you with a pillar of fire by night and pillar of cloud by day. Then the Lord heard your complaining. He became very angry. So he solemnly swore, not one of you from This wicked generation will live to see the good land I swore to give your ancestors, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh. Okay. He will see this land because he has followed the Lord completely. He will give to him and his descendants some of the very land he explored during his scouting mission. And the Lord was also angry with me because of you. He said to me, Moses, not even you will enter the promised land. Instead, your assistant Joshua, son of Nun, will lead the people of the land. Encourage him, for he will lead Israel as they take possession of it. I will give the land to your little ones, your innocent children. You were afraid that they would be captured, but they will be the ones who occupy it. As for you, turn around now, and go on back through the wilderness towards the Red Sea. Then you will confess, we have sinned against the Lord. We will go into the land and fight for it, as the Lord our God has commanded us. So your men strapped on their weapons, thinking it would be easy to attack the hill country. But the Lord said to me to tell you, do not attack, for I am not with you. If you go ahead on your own, you will be crushed by your enemies. This is what I told you, but you would not listen. Instead, you again rebelled against the Lord's command and arrogantly went into the hill country to fight. But the Amorites who lived there came out against you like a swarm of bees. They chased and battered you all the way from Sur to Hormah. Then you returned and wept before the Lord, but he refused to listen. So you stayed there at Kadesh for a long time. Okay, so that is chapter 1 of Deuteronomy. Quite a long chapter. But now we're going into devotion time, and it is titled, It's Out of Your Hands. And we're still in Jeremiah. Chapter 18. Verses 1 through 10. The Lord gave another message to Jeremiah. He said, go down to the potter's shop, and I will speak to you there. So I did as he told me and found the potter working at his wheel. Excuse me. But the jar he was making did not turn out as he had hoped, so he crushed it into a lump of clay again and started over. Then the Lord gave this message, O Israel, can I not do to you as his potter has done to his clay? As the clay is the potter's hand, so are you in my hand. If I announce that a certain nation or kingdom is to be uprooted, torn down, and destroyed, but then that nation renounces its evil ways, I will not destroy it as I had planned. And if I announce that I will plant and build up a certain nation or kingdom, but then that nation turns to evil and refuses to obey me, I will not bless it as I said I would. Okay. There are times in life when we feel we have no more say over what is happening to us than we do the weather. Life has become uncontrollable as a hurricane or tornado. The ultimately death of a friend, a major move, or serious physical injury can be just enough to turn our whole world upside down. O house of Israel, can I not do with you as this potter does, declares the Lord. Like clay in the hand of the potter, so are you in my hand, O house of Israel. Whether your life feels all together or seems to be falling apart, you need to know one thing: it's out of your hands. But just because you're not the one in charge doesn't mean that life is out of control. Remember, God is the potter, you are the clay, and he does not discard the marred clay. He seeks to refashion it. He wants to use your triumphs and your tragedies to create a beautiful masterpiece. Amen to that. Why do we often struggle to maintain control of our lives? Because things are just chaotic and crazy. and it's not getting any better as long as sin is in our lives. I mean, obviously with things happening around the world or just in our own neighborhood, it's crazy to think that because of one thing can make it turn upside down and cause a horrible day. And people can make it worse or make it better, but ultimately God is in control, even though we think he's not. He is. I've had issues where in the past, like saying, like, or thinking out loud, like, that everything is doomed and I feel horrible and nothing's gonna get any better. And despite all the things that have happened in my past, I've learned, like, oh, these things can turn into a good thing. I didn't see it then, but now I know. I'm thinking, oh, this could actually be a testimony to other people that can actually benefit others. So a mess can make into a message, a test can turn into a testimony, and there's some other things that can turn into bad to good, basically. Are there areas in your life in which you aren't trusting the Lord completely? And what steps can you take to turn things over to God? Well, for the longest time, I didn't trust God where I was planning on doing with my life. I was, the whole process of praying for a husband situation and still not trusting if it's ever going to happen. All those situations, and I'm like, Lord, I had to literally just set them aside and say, Lord, it's all in your timing. I know you have plans for me. It's just going to take a little bit longer, and I just have to have patience and trust that God's going to see me through. So I've had to release a lot of things, and it's been painful. It's been exhausting, but I am so much better. It doesn't feel like a heavy weight on me anymore. I feel like some people probably think I'm not getting anywhere in life, and I understand that. I, for one, thought that for a long, long time, but I'm like, okay, Lord, I trust you. I have to trust you because he's the ultimate creator of everything, and he already knows what my future looks like. I don't, but he does. And that goes for everyone. He knows every single thing that's going to happen in your life, and it's going to turn out good in some ways, and sometimes it's not always going to be great. It's not going to always, our expectations are, well, they're not going to always be there, but God's got us, and we have to just release control and let God take the wheel for once, So that is Bible time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog ultimately, and I hope you guys enjoyed your day. Have a great day. As always, keep on smiling, stay positive. I love you guys. Jesus loves you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.